We got some really good cold opens on this, so Jake, you better put in some time to editing.
He won't.
I won't. Podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters. Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Gold Eagle Jake.
He's back.
Drum roll, please. I'm back.
Why? You can't do a drum roll after you've introduced yourself.
Well, I was waiting for one of you guys to
that's like putting a condom
take it
on after
over.
you finished having sex.
I mean, people know who I am. I'm not introducing myself. I was gone for one episode.
2 episodes.
No, we got a head one. I was only gone for one. I thought. Maybe?
Yeah, me and you only did one together, Jake.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We didn't do we didn't do last week.
Remember though when Jake
I'm
said
back.
maybe I'll take my laptop with me and get Raj on for a night and then never
Yeah, no.
That was cool.
I never would have had a chance to do that. So thankfully I didn't. We can always get him on a Zoom call. He'd be happy to.
Yeah.
How was the wedding at the old college?
The wedding was incredible. We were there about 5 days early, and it rained the entire time until an hour before our guests started to arrive. So we had perfect weather. And yeah, it was really cool just being on that campus. It's kind of hard to describe unless you've been there and stayed there. But it's definitely got me in a brandy mood, along with this cooler weather that we're having here in Chicago, because it's carried over, and I'm sipping some Bacta tonight, even though we're talking about bottled and bond.
Is that your wedding bottle?
I do have my wedding bottle here. Yeah. Yeah, we got to create our own blend for the wedding. Mm-hmm.
Don't forget I paid you for one of those bottles already.
You did. I have it for you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Next time you're in
$5 to your wedding.
Next time you're in Chicago, we'll get you a bottle, or I can give it to Jake so that he can hold on to it.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing like trying to do transactions over a podcast that people want to listen
right. to. Mm-hmm. Nobody's ever
so
done that.
So what are we
here.
doing tonight?
No. Yeah, we've never heard Jake's phone go ching and be like, oh, it's Jake as we're talking. Jake, well, you said someone asked a question about some whiskey things, and then we decided to take it and turn it into an episode. So kind of give us the rundown of what we're doing tonight.
Yeah, so we did get a comment asking about bottled and bond bourbons and like what we think about different ones. So we thought it'd be a good opportunity to do another tier list. So we're going to be ranking major distillery bottled and bond bourbons only. Quick refresher on the requirements for bottled and bond. This is codified under the 1897 Bottled and Bond Act. The whiskey must be from a single distillery, from a single distilling season, minimum of 4 years, 100 proof, and aged in a federally bonded warehouse, which means the government has oversight over the aging process.
Not really. It just means that they came out and they said that it's secure.
Originally, yes.
The real purpose was that the government
has evolved.
oversaw the warehouse.
Yes, it has evolved into they just need to come out once and check it and approve it and keep some additional records that you otherwise wouldn't keep. Like at Bacta, for example, their rickhouse is the library on campus, and it is bonded. So every time you enter there, you have to sign your name down, and then they have to keep a written record of everything that was sampled so that they can pay their taxes on it. Mm-hmm. But Dan, why did the bonded act come into play and what was going on during that time
Jake
where
did a
they
horrible
decided they
job
need
of-
some regulations. Jake gave us the four major
explained the
rules. Now we can kind of discuss why this has become a thing and why it isn't necessarily as important today as it was in 1897, but is still definitely holds some value.
Yeah, so late 1800s, if you're not a history guy or don't know much or haven't looked into it, which is totally fine and understandable.
Or haven't been on a distillery tour ever.
Yeah. Back in the late 1800s, there was a lot of people trying to cheat making whiskey by basically taking whiskey and trying to get it look like it was aged quicker than what it would normally get the color and things at. So you would have people doing things like adding turpentine or tobacco spit to the alcohol to get it to turn brown quicker, and then they were bottling it and selling it. These were your low end distilleries just trying to get stuff out there. There was a gentleman by the name of Colonel E.H. Taylor, which we all know we've almost all heard of him because that's what everybody has to ask Jake if he has in the back is the Colonel Taylor. He was making good whiskey at the time, and he hated having to sell against lesser whiskeys that were doing things like this. And this is way before the FDA came around. So one of the first food safety acts we had passed in Congress was the Bottle and Bond Act, which put these 4 stipulations into it, basically saying that way that if you went to the store to buy a bottle of whiskey, if you saw bonded on the label, you knew that it was 4 years, 100 proof, 1 distillation, 1 season. So you knew you were getting something good and not something that had possibly been tampered with. Back then, everything had to have a tax stamp on it, and Taylor was famous for having his name signed on those stamps, and they would put it over top so you could tell if the bottle had been tampered with before you picked it up as well. But this was way before the government started controlling food and drugs.
Yeah.
So
it's the first consumer protections law in America.
Yeah. Brought to you by, again, Colonel E.H. Taylor. But that's basically what it was back in the day was, hey, you know this whiskey is going to be whiskey made the correct way from a trusted source. Back then, federal agents slept in the warehouses to make sure people wouldn't come in at night and tamper with it. Now, if you get a visit once a year to your bonded warehouse from the federal government, that's pretty impressive. So things have changed a lot, but a lot of that's in line, too, because now we have the FDA to make sure stuff is safe and not tampered with, and we have all these other whiskey laws as well that people have to follow. And a lot of tax money involved in this, so they make sure they don't miss out a single cent of tax dollars.
Yeah, and they want you to keep buying their whiskey. So if you're putting out a product that's not quality, you're not going to go back and buy another bottle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was a great user comment to talk about Bottle and Bond because it kind of doesn't get enough credit, and I think the high proof move has kind of pushed Bottle and Bond to the side a little bit. But now that people are coming back down to that 100, 110, 15 proof range, I think Bottle and Bond is going to have a new life here. And there's a lot of really good Bottle and Bond whiskeys out there that are readily available for great prices.
Does Bottle and Bond really mean much? Jake, does Bottle and Bond even really mean much anymore today in your view? Because we have all these other things we have to do. Is it like is it just a marketing ploy now? Do you think it still holds weight? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it definitely holds weight. Again, it's not as important as it was when people were tampering with whiskey. But I do think it's going to kind of make a little comeback here now that, people they realize that they can't drink hazmat and high proof all the time. I'm talking to a lot of people in the store that are liking that 100, 110 proof range and going back down to some solid drinkers. And there's a lot of really, really good Bottle and Bond products on the shelf at reasonable prices. So I do think it's never going to go away. It'll kind of make a little bit of a comeback here. And yeah, I'm excited to dive into it.
Yeah, I think at a minimum, it's at least a guarantee that you're getting the specifications behind the law. So like, there's at least some level of quality that's baked in there.
Yeah, I don't really concern about the quality too much with everything else. More or less, like the easiest thing is if you see bonded, the easiest two things to put in your head is it's 4 years, 100 proof.
Yeah.
But the one that's probably the most important, I feel, on there is the one distiller and one distillation season. And why that's important is because a distillation season runs from July to December and then January to June. So basically what they're saying is it's been made all within a short period of time in that blend by one distiller. So you know it's not a blend. It's somebody that's actually made that whiskey. It's been produced by that distiller. It hasn't been sourced and put in by somebody else. So that's kind of the biggest thing is like, hey, this isn't like you'll never see a barrel craft with a bottle and bond because they're not going to be able to. It's you see a lot of
never say never.
More for true. I think it means more for the smaller distilleries, honestly, to have bottle and bond on it that are making their own stuff to separate them from all the blended ones that they're selling against.
Wait, speaking of, we missed a big one.
I was going to put some of the Illinois distilleries on there, but then we had people that don't listen from Illinois, so I wanted to keep this.
Well, we always talk about Whiskey Acres. We're not going to put Whiskey Acres BiB on there?
Nah. Well, right. I have it for everybody. So
we said no craft distilleries.
Yeah. All right.
Otherwise, we'd have like 500.
Yeah, because I was going through. I was going through everything that you guys had at Gold Eagle on here when I first started making my list, and then I was like looking at Few and Whiskey Acres, and I'm like, you know what? If we start going down this road, it's just gonna lead to too much. So I wanted to have a couple that were outside of Kentucky. So we do have some of those on here as well, but ones that are pretty readily available.
So,
I'm also glad. Yeah, just real quick, I'm also glad you brought up the distilling season to put a little emphasis on that because I do think that is one thing that people are going to start paying more attention to as they get deeper into their bourbon journey and look for the next thing to nerd out about. You can pick up a bottle of Evan Williams Bottled and Bond and compare different vintages or different seasons and try to pick out nuances and differences there, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Of course.
And it also kind of...
Can you see that?
Also kind of levels the playing field, comparing one to another bottle and bond bourbon from another brand. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Jake, the one that you're holding up kind of almost... It kind of defies what you can do with bottled and bond. Like it kind of breaks through the possibilities of bottled and bond because they're blending together multiple different mash bills that were all distilled in the same distilling season. Mm-hmm. So that's one where every single release is totally different from the next bottled and bond release. Chattanooga.
Yeah. Chattanooga, which we will get to in a minute. So what we're going to do is we've done this before with the tier list. We're going to go through, we'll all talk about where we personally rank these. We have 5 different levels. The highest of the high level is our Colonel approved tier. So this is something that the Colonel would be proud of. Second level, just below Colonel approved, you're going to have your FDA approved. Doesn't quite meet the high standards of a Bottle and Bond Act, but good enough for the government. Our middle tier is going to be it checks all the boxes. So basically this is solid. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing bad about it. It checks the boxes. It hits all the marks that it needs to hit to be called Bottle and Bond. It's easily drinkable, neat, or in a cocktail. But other than that, not a ton to write home about. Next level down is going to be broken tax stamp. So that's one where you go to the store, the tax stamp is broken. Someone might have done something to your whiskey at the store. And then finally, we have the turpentine level, which is basically we can't tell if they tried to make the whiskey taste like that or if they added turpentine in there to get colors. Our criteria will be...
Which isn't the case if it's bottled and bond, just to be clear.
Yes.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
Thank you, Jake.
It doesn't have turpentine in it. Thanks. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Listen to the cold opening.
Yeah. No, I don't, because Jake probably didn't edit anything. It's probably just talking. It's not what you want. So what we'll be doing, there will be 2 things that we decide where we feel that all these should be placed on, and that is going to be the whiskey itself coupled with the price for value, because you can have a really, really good whiskey, but if it's 5 times more expensive than some other whiskeys on the list, and it's only a little bit better, it's not really Colonel approved. So
Yep.
we will go through. We will talk about the whiskeys. We'll put our ranks. We'll put our general consensus together. We'll have our tiers put together, and then we'll go through and rank each tier top to bottom. So we have our best down to our worst in order. We are going to start with 1792 Bottled in Bond. This is a $40 bottle.
I'll go first.
Okay, thank you.
I either FDA approved or checks the boxes.
All right,
I think
so
it's solid.
putting it up in this range somewhere. I'm just going to put it here for now.
Yeah, I think it's a good whiskey.
Good whiskey.
$40 isn't terrible for it. I don't think.
Okay.
But yeah, not one that would like blow me away.
Jake.
I'm also going to say checks the boxes. I don't think it's an incredible whiskey, but I think for $40, the presentation is very nice and it's good for what it is. I will say we do have a single barrel version of Bottled in Bond 1792 right now that I think is definitely a step up from the standard version. And that I would say is FDA approved, but just the standard everyday 1792 Bottled in Bond, I'd put checks the boxes.
Gotcha. We never really talk about 1792 that much when we talk about things. We never really talk about Old Barton.
Yeah.
I think just normal 1792, like when everyone starts drinking, one of the first whiskeys they start drinking is Basil Hayden, right? That they try and get into bourbon. Usually it's a cheap one that
For a lot of people, yeah.
For a lot of people, cheap, low proof. It's easy to get into, or it's one of the easier ones to get into. I think 1792, just the standard release, is kind of like when you want to graduate up a little bit, or if you want to start on something a little bit nicer. I'm kind of the same way. I like it in check the boxes. I wouldn't have been opposed to it, and we'll see where it falls in the check the boxes. Right off my gut, my initial feeling is probably right towards the tail end, FDA approved, top check the boxes, but we'll see how this plays out. For $40, I wouldn't want to see it any higher than that, so hopefully they keep that price there for a while. Now, and don't call us hypocrites because you say, well, you guys always say $10 per year, and this is $40, and it's at least $4. These are big distilleries that make shit ton of whiskey way cheaper than you can do it. The smaller and smaller you get, so it's a business of scale. The more you make, the cheaper it is to make it. So $40 for this, I feel, is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Not a bad one. Plus, it looks nice. Cool looking bottle, right?
Yeah.
It is a nice bottle. The topper's very, very cool looking.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Next
Benchmark?
one, we have Benchmark for $25. Someone want to start with the $25 Bottled in Bond Benchmark?
I'd say broken tax stamp, but a possible move up.
Broken tax stamp, possible move up. I will say...
I would only move it up because of the value proposition.
The value proposition. It's not the cheapest one on our list. There's actually about
it's not.
3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah, I was going to say there's some cheaper ones that I would take over this.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought as well too. If you've listened, I've talked about I really like Benchmark Full Proof. I would keep it in broken tax stamp. I would be one that would vary between this and towards the bottom tier of Turpentine. It's definitely not by far and away my favorite Benchmark.
Agreed.
All right, so this might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I am looking at this list and I don't think I will put anything. No. I don't think I will put anything in Turpentine because all of these whiskeys for their price, I think, are solid, and like I'd be happy with a pour of any of them. I am gonna put this in broken tax stamp because I do think on this whole list it's towards the bottom for me, but it's still a super solid whiskey for $25. Yeah. And if you like that Buffalo Trace kind of rye, grainy, little like grape flavor profile, you're gonna love this Benchmark Bottled in Bond.
And on that, a $25 100 proof whiskey that I'm not a big fan of it neat, but $25, this is an easy mixer, right?
Yeah.
Compared to like what you would get from bottom shelf. This is $6 or $7 more than bottom shelf whiskey. It's higher proof. It's at least 4 years old. Like, there's value to that. So
Do we have to put something in turpentine?
we don't have to.
We don't have to.
All right.
I'm not going to.
I have one that
I'll tell you that.
I have one that I know.
Of course, Dan has something that he wants
Of
to
course.
Yeah, I know you guys are going to talk shit to me about it.
We will.
All right, let's see what's next.
Next,
Bullet?
Bullet bottled in bond. This is a $55 bottle. I have a love-hate with Bullet. I think their 10 years pretty darn good. I'm not a fan much of the rest. Although if I am at a bar and I want to drink something neat, like Bullet's usually one of the ones that almost everyone will have. I feel for me this is going to be towards the bottom of check the boxes, start a broken tax stamp, but I'm going to put it in checks the boxes for now.
I think the price point warrants a lower bracket.
That's kind of one of the things that I'm dealing with.
I
too,
agree.
is the
I was
$55.
going to put it
It's too
behind the
expensive.
benchmark just for the
Oh, you're
price
putting
point.
behind benchmark?
I mean, it's double the price of benchmark. Bullet is a massive distillery, and they have endless resources to source whiskey from. And I like $55 for this bottle. It didn't really impress me. It wasn't bad, but I wouldn't pay $55 for that over a bottle of benchmark for 25.
So one thing I should say about it as well, since 2017, it's been 7 years. It's a 7-year.
Okay. I mean, it still didn't really
age
impress
stated.
me taste-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot
And-
to put the ones in here that definitely have age statements on it.
And
I'll try catch
it's
those.
pretty limited. So far, it's been pretty limited.
Yes, it has. You don't see it out a ton.
Right.
Which for them is they should be putting that out pretty much everywhere.
Right. Like, why not
I
come
don't
out
think
with
they
a
have much of an
4-year
excuse.
bottle and bond for $30?
Yeah.
That's what they should have done.
Yeah, they could do that without a problem. Even $40. Like we just talked
Yeah.
about 1792s is $40. Like you can do that price range. Next one I have actually never had, so I don't have a ton of things on here. So I will let you guys go with Chattanooga for $57.
Yeah. I would say FDA approved. I think even though it is a high price point, I think what Jake said earlier is it's very unique on purpose. So I think the value's there for it. The ones I've had have been very flavorful and enjoyable, so I like it.
Yeah, I also put it in FDA approved. This is one where like we almost need to state which release it is because they are very, very different. Some of these Chattanooga bottled and bonds have been weeded bourbons. Some of them have been high rye bourbon. They've been blends of the two different mash bills and other experimental mash bills. So I love every time you go to try one of these releases, it's going to be very different, and they're also very transparent on what's in it. So if you go to their website, you can read through every single percentage that's in each of these bottled and bond blends. And I think that unique factor and the fact that they're able to put these different mash bills and distillates together and create something good every time warrants an FDA approved a category for it.
Okay. So just I know Jake said something on it. This is like besides a couple that we're going to talk about at the end. This is basically like our third most expensive one on here. You guys are feeling that the price is worth it though on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say I think that's going to be a rare occurrence in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be.
also on this.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think it's going to be like middle to end of FDA approved for me. But yeah, I mean, I've loved every release, and I do love that they're different every time, like really, really different, so that it's kind of a new experience every time you taste one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just to keep the conversation going on this, since I don't have much to chime in on, the last question I have on this one: if it was $40 like the 1792, where does it fall? Still in this
Colonel
tier?
approved for sure.
Yeah,
You
I
put it
would put it in
approved and it's
Colonel
$40?
approved. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All
Especially,
right.
yeah. I mean, the art that goes into blending this every time, and they're consistently good. And you guys know I love Chattanooga, so I might be a little bit biased, but this is a great everyday whiskey that you can actually go out there and find on the shelf.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to know if that would put it up there or not. So that answered my question. Next, Jake, you want to keep going? Your favorite one is next. The Colonel himself, E.H. Taylor. And since it's named after the Colonel, I'm guessing you're putting this one up on Colonel
Yeah,
approved.
front of the list. No questions, no explanations. Just leave it right there.
now, where do you want it to actually go?
Let's see. I don't know. This is a tough one because it's got to be broken tax stamp.
So you're going broken tax stamp.
I'm going right there, above benchmark, above bullet. This is one. It kind of troubles me on where to put it. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but we've also put it in 8 or 9 blind tastings, and it's lost every single time to a cheaper bottle that's bottled in bond that you can find on the shelf. So I think that right there puts it below half the items that we're about to talk about, and it does kind of kill me how much hype there is over this bottle that consistently loses in blinds against other bottled bonds.
But again, it's $49.
Yeah.
Too.
No. They had a price increase
now?
this year. Yeah, this
no,
is it's like 60. It's $59.99.
All right.
So yeah, I think for that price, again, not a bad whiskey. Nothing on this list is bad, but definitely below 1792 bottle and bond at $40 to me. I'd put this right where it is right now.
Jake, you want to go next, or you want me to?
Yeah. So I'll say in a vacuum, I think I'd put it in checks the boxes, maybe FDA approved. The price increase hurts me a little bit. But I think compared to all these other ones, I think broken tax stamp is appropriate.
All right. So one thing you guys are forgetting on this is the value of the tube.
Oh, well,
Oh my God.
Like, you're forgetting
You
about the
didn't
value.
tell us it came with the tube.
The
then
picture has
bump
the
it up.
tube in it. The picture has the tube in it. Here's my thing with Taylor. I've had some really good single barrel bottled in bonds with Taylor.
We're talking about small batch right
This
now.
isn't that.
I know.
That.
We're gonna talk about the single barrel.
I know.
Which that is a little bit of a different story.
I've had some phenomenal barrel proof, which isn't bonded either, obviously.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now either.
I am going to agree with you guys wholeheartedly on this. The price kills it. I would say that if we just base all of this strictly off flavor of the whiskey, it would be right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
And Jake, to be fair, yes, it's lost a lot at blind tastings. You do sometimes cherry pick what it goes up against, knowing it's going to be a tough battle.
Well, Dan, we've put it up against JTS Brown Bottled and Bond. We put it against Old Granddad Bottled and Bond. We put it up against Old Tub, which isn't on this list. We didn't put that in, but that is a little bit. It's a little bit more of a occasional limited release. But Old Tub, all those bottles took down Taylor small batch bottle and bond in our blinds, and they're a third of the price or half the price.
So yeah, and that's why I think it's middle of the road at best.
Yeah, if it wasn't for those blinds, I would probably put it in checks the boxes, maybe at the end of FDA approved, but those blind tastings opened my eyes to Taylor small batch as a fraud.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I have it right there too. So, but All right. The next is, we're going to drop down price a little bit, is going to be Early Times Bottle and Bond. Not only do we have to take into account that this is $20, but this is also a 1 liter bottle.
It's a little more now. Also had a little price increase this year. Yeah. $29.99 for a liter
or something.
Or yeah, it might be 20. It might be 25. It's somewhere between 25 and 29 for a liter though too. Okay. So that's like $22 for 750.
Yeah. I have bought bottles of this before, and I don't mind drinking it at all. You gotta love a screw top whiskey. I am gonna throw it towards the bottom end. I think of Check the Boxes. I don't think it's anywhere close to $17.92. But when you're talking the value on this one is very high for me. Do I think it tastes better than Taylor Small Batch? No, but it's also less than half the price and a larger bottle. I think it tastes better than Benchmark for sure. So I'm going to put it at the end of Checks the Boxes.
Yeah, I like Early Times. I could be convinced to bump it up 1 tier, but I think Checks the Boxes is probably okay.
I wouldn't be convinced to bump it up. I could be convinced to drop it down a little bit, but I think the value on this one is extremely high.
But yeah, I mean the value is the big thing for me on Early Times.
I like Early Times.
Before Gold Eagle Jake says, I think he's going to be the snobby thing and be like, well, back in 2017, this was Colonel approved, but then they changed how they were doing this and this and this. And now I'm going to have to put it down in broken text. That's my thought of what Jake.
No, I'm gonna.
Might be right.
I'm gonna say thank you for bringing that up because it annoys me when people talk about that, about how ever since Sazerac bought the brand, it tastes different now. Because immediately after that sale went through, there was a bunch of people that were like, "Oh, this tastes different now." But how long is it going to take until the liquid actually changes in there? Like 5-10 years. They're using the same stock of barrels and using the same people that are blending it. So Early Times Bottle and Bond, I actually like this one. I think for under 30 for a liter bottle, it's a great value. It holds up very, very well in cocktails. I think it's much better than Benchmark. I think it's much better than Taylor if you don't mind a higher rye, spicier bourbon, because Taylor is pretty sweet compared to Early Times Bottle and Bond. And I would actually put this at the end of FDA approved or the front of Check the Boxes. But I wouldn't be totally upset if it lands where it is right now.
Okay.
So it sounds like
we'll come back
it sounds like we'll be
I'd
there.
Be okay with bumping it in front of 1792.
So that's 2 votes to 1.
Thanks.
Dan
I
just
think
hates
if they were the same price, I would put 1792 over Early Times. But I think for the price and the value, and I think Early Times has just a little more oomph to it, so I would vote for it right where it is, right there.
You know what? All right, I get it that the vote's 2-1, but this is America, and I'm going to play the trump card. I don't care. I'm going to put it down there for now. We can talk about it later.
Dan, we said no politics on the podcast. And it's 2-1.
I didn't say anything about politics. I just said that the votes don't count. And a trump card is something you play in cards that trumps what's out there. So
move it up, Dan, or else Jake's going to take this over too.
You have to do a little bit of work to do this, so Jake would not do it. All right, so from Early Times, we are going to go to Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond 7-year. Jake, you want to suck on the nuts of this one for a while first before Gold Eagle and I talk?
Yeah, I would put it at least at the front of Checks the Boxes. What are they pricing it at right now?
So
it's
I think
under
MSRP
50.
Is around 43.
Yeah, we've got it. Gold Eagle has it right now for $42.99.
Yeah. See?
Did they pull the age statement off of it?
No, it still says 7.
No, it's still 7.
Do they? Do they
Jake,
have it on
come on,
the
stop.
art series as well?
Stop trying to prove Dan wrong, Jake. Put this where you really want it.
Yeah, Jake
No,
doesn't know shit about his favorite distillery.
I really like it. I really like it neat. I like it with cocktails. But I think there are better whiskeys on this list. So I think that's a fair place.
I honestly would probably put it more towards the tail end of FDA approved. For me, my thought is in that second tier level. Is it something I'm going to buy again? If I want to, yes. I did it deserve all the hype and the scarcity it had years ago of people trying to get it? No. Again, definitely not. I think it's better than the one. I think compared to the ones we currently have in Check the Boxes, it's a decent amount better. It's almost the same price as $17.92. We know it's at least 7 years, so I'm going to throw it up to FDA approved and put it at the tail end of there.
See what I did there? I came in with the low ask, and then Dan bumped it up.
Well,
Right
what are
where
you
I
going to tell us?
Yeah, but you don't even
What are
know
you
what the
going
bottle-
to?
You don't even pay attention
You're
to the
gonna-
bottle.
You're going to tell us you're kidding, and now it's Colonel Taylor approved.
Yeah.
Dan, I'm shocked at what Jake thinks about this bottle. I think it's a phenomenal bottle. It's bold. It has great viscosity. It's like everything you want in a Kentucky bourbon. It doesn't have any burn or heat to it, but it has amazing flavor. And I think I would put it above the Chattanooga for being $15 less a bottle.
All right.
I think this is for now that it's on the shelf all day, every day at $43 a bottle, 7 year. I think this is a winner that every person I've recommended it to has come back and said how much they liked it. So I don't think you can go wrong with this one.
Okay. Technically, with where it would be voted, it would technically be right here then.
Which I think
we can
like
discuss
I was
later.
in between on where to put it. I
Yeah.
like it. I like it there where it is. I still like the
We can
unique
come back
factor
to it.
of Chattanooga.
All right. The next one, up and coming distillery that you're seeing more and more of, Ben Holliday's Bottled and Bond. Now they have two, just for the ease of this one. This is the normal Ben Holiday Bottled and Bond. This is not the soft red winter wheat. Bottled and Bond. This is a $60 bonded bourbon. I will start. I have not been. Some of the Rickhouse blends with their higher proof have been okay for me, but their
Also
other
not
stuff.
applicable in this conversation.
I know, but their standard releases, their non-barrel proof stuff, has never really impressed me. And this is one of the most expensive ones we have on the list.
Yeah,
Besides
I'm in
a
the
couple
same
of
boat as you.
If I'm gonna say that Bullet Bourbon is broken tax stamp, I am gonna throw this on the turpentine level.
Ooh.
Just because it's $60.
I think it's a little harsh.
I know it's a little harsh, but I don't care. Have I ever not been harsh against something?
I'd put it in between Benchmark and Bullet, I think.
Really? So even though it's $5 more, you think it's better than Bullet? Are you just mad at Bullet that they keep the price that high on it?
Well, Bullet has no excuse to be that expensive.
That's true.
Ben Holiday at least does.
So technically, right now it's here.
I totally agree with Jake. I would put it right in between Benchmark and Bullet. I think it's a solid bourbon. If you buy this bottle, you're not going to be upset with the flavor. Is it, can you find a better bottle than Bond for cheaper? Yeah. But it's not a bad bourbon. And I think it's a little more fuller bodied and flavorful than the Bullet. But I still would rather have 2.5 bottles of Benchmark than 1 bottle of Ben Holiday.
Okay. We'll put it there for now. Next one, we are going over to Tennessee for Jack Daniel's Bonded. This is a $38 bottle. It is only 700 mils, though, so it's a little bit smaller. Just like we played in the early times liter size, we got to play in the 700 mils on the price of this one as well.
All the way at the top.
You're calling this Colonel approved?
Shit.
This is Jack Bonded is my number 1 or number 2 favorite out of all of these. I love it neat, and it is absolutely perfect in old fashions if you're going to use a bourbon. I know that it's 700 mils. I know that it's
not a
$45 or whatever.
It's not a bourbon. It's Tennessee whiskey, Jake. Come on.
Whatever. It's the same.
Bourbon.
I love it. I'm a huge fan.
Well, that threw me for
Jake
a little
seems
loop.
a little shocked. Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like Jake was holding that in, just ready to pounce when we got to Jack Daniel's Bonded, which I was expecting for the Heaven Hill.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you ranked that high. I'm surprised you ranked that much higher in Heaven Hill. Jake, are you gonna be okay? Like you like just like looked and like you're lost right now.
I'm stuck. I'm frozen. All right, I'll go. I'll break out of my trance. I'm putting this right behind the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond. I think. I mean, it's right on either side. Right on either side of the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond. It's FDA approved. This is a great pour. For $40, it's what I like in a bourbon, which I've talked about on this episode already. Something bold, but it also has a bit more rye spice and complexity than the Heaven Hill. So I think I would put it kind of right in between those two there. So you can bump it up a little bit unless you're going to put it lower.
No, I am going to put it probably over top of Heaven Hill. If you listened to us a long time ago, you knew that when I tasted this, I hate Jack Daniels, and I fell in love with Jack Bonded. I had it as my whiskey of the year it hit the United States. I don't have Chattanooga, so I can't say if it's ahead of Chattanooga. I would definitely say with the price and everything, I'm putting it ahead of Heaven Hill. But I think this is one of the better flavored whiskeys on here.
If you're putting above Heaven Hill, Jake wants it Colonel approved and his favorite. I would put it above the Chattanooga. As someone who's had a lot of the Chattanooga releases,
I'll take that.
All right,
I got you. So don't worry.
The next one is going to be back again on the low cost one, $22. This was the original one I was going to put down in turpentine level. This is just Evan Williams white label. I do not like Evan Williams at all. I think this is probably the second worst flavored one on here. But the reason I'm going to have the other one a tier higher than this is just because it's a little bit cheaper. And that's about it.
How much does that cost?
$22.
At least check the boxes.
So you're saying this is better than Benchmark?
Yes.
Well, technically, right now it's going to be somewhere in this range.
I like the Evan Williams white label.
I would put it right there where it is. I think I would prefer Benchmark Bonded over Evan Williams. Evan Williams Bottle and Bond is the only Bottle and Bond that lost to Taylor Small Batch in our blind, but it was only by like 3 or 4 votes. So I think right there is appropriate. For being a third of the price of the Ben Holiday and less than half the price of the Bullet, right where it is right there is good. Dan, I'm sorry, I don't know what you don't like about it, but for $20, I think there's nothing wrong with it.
Like, what does 1783 cost these days?
It's like 24, a couple bucks more.
For $2 extra, I would drink that a million times more than this.
It's the same whiskey.
Yeah, but it's also lower proof. No, it's lower proof. It's 90 proof.
Well,
same whiskey,
Evan
but
Williams
90 proof.
Nashville,
right.
Like, yeah.
That's way better than white label Evan Williams.
You're
No,
out of
thank
your
you.
No,
mind.
I don't know. I think it's good where it is right there.
Okay. Now to the cheapest whiskey on the list.
Hell yeah, let's go.
JTS Brown Bottle and Bond, $18. Who wants to lead off on this one?
So, if anybody has not tried JTS Brown, I highly recommend that you go spend the $18, probably $20 with tax, and try it, because you will be unbelievably surprised. I would put this at the top of check the boxes.
Wow, I thought you were going to say
All right.
top of Colonel approved after that hype session.
That's what I thought too. I thought he was going too high up on that.
I think I'm going to put this at the low end of Colonel approved. This was the first first bottle and bond. This was for $18 is the cheapest whiskey on the list. This was the first bottle and bond whiskey that beat Taylor in our blind. I think there's nothing that comes close to it under $20. Would I rather have Chattanooga, Jack Daniels, or Heaven Hill 7-year or early? Maybe early time should be bumped up a little bit, in my opinion. But for less than half the price of any of those bottles, I think it's barely above Jack Daniels bonded.
I think you're putting way too much effort into the price. If I was going to go,
well, we said we were talking about value.
I know. You have to rank
not
value
just
in it,
flavor.
Way too much.
Have you tried it?
Yes.
It's fucking unbelievable for that price point.
Don't.
It's
again, you guys are heavy on the value.
But I mean,
it's
that's
still solid. It's
like
a solid pour.
Yeah, independent of the price, it's a very good whiskey.
I don't like it more than I like flavor of Jack Bonded. I can't say Chattanooga, but if we're putting this between that and Heaven Hill, I take Heaven Hill over it. I take Early Times over it. I take 1792 over it. I'd take Taylor over it.
I would be happy putting this after Heaven Hill and FDA approved.
You think this is better than Early Times?
I think in a blind, Early Times might win, but I think for $20 versus $25, I would take the
more.
I'd put it in that spot too. I'm good with that.
I'm going to put it ahead of Early Times.
Fine.
Boxes.
Fine.
We can
FDA approved.
That's what talk about it later. I would have it ranked lower.
You're outvoted.
I would have it ranked down here for averaging. It would be right there.
It took down Taylor in a blind, and it's a third of the price of Taylor. Why would you put it?
Everything on here is taken down Taylor.
Below Taylor. So why would you put it below Taylor then?
Because Dan has terrible taste. Everyone watching this.
Well, you should have said everyone listens to this because there's only like 2 or 3 people that watch. So, we'll leave it here. We'll come back and argue. From one of the cheapest back up to kind of an average price range for $40, we have New Riff Bottled and Bond. It has been a while since I've had New Riff, I will say that. And it's been even longer since I've had New Riff Bottled and Bond. It's $40, so we're talking right around the same price point as the Heaven Hill, a little bit cheaper. I really, from everything I've had with New Riff, I have always liked New Riff. I don't have anything on my shelf right now from New Riff. I haven't seen New Riff here out in Utah, so maybe I'll have to get some when I come back in December. From what I remember, I'm going to put it right behind Heaven Hill. That's my feeling of it.
I'd say it could go there or one spot in front of Heaven Hill.
Okay, so right around this area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good right there, right where it is. I mean, it's a solid pour. It has that nuttiness and Kentucky-style bourbon for sure. But I think I would prefer Heaven Hill. It's much bolder, and they're about the same price.
All right. That was a simple one. Next one, Old Grandad Bonded. Who wants to?
This is another one for
Well,
me that's
it,
like
it has to
JTS,
go
where
above
it's just,
Taylor
like, it's so good.
because it took down Taylor, and it's less than half the price.
I'd put Granddad right behind JTS.
Jake?
I would put it right there, or maybe even above JTS. Maybe even in FDA approved behind New Riff.
Well, so I would put a little caveat next to mine. If Granddad goes to FDA approved, so does JTS.
That's where we're gonna put it. We're gonna put it right at the top of check the boxes then. I like Old Granddad. It's one that if I see it at a bar, I'm getting a pour of it.
Yeah,
I would still rather
that's
have
like
the
your
114.
well pour.
Yeah, like this is one where it's a cheap, single, neat whiskey pour. Give it to me all the time if it's there. So
it's the real ones know that Old Granddad Bonded
yeah.
is
I'll never forget. I was at the shittiest, worst bowling alley in my life, where you still had to keep manual score, and this was like 2 or 3 years ago. So luckily, like no one I went bowling with knew how to keep score except for me, so I won somehow. No, I kind of kept legitimacy. But like I walked over to the bar, and it was a very old timey bowling alley in small town Illinois, and they had Old Granddad. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be friends here tonight. So that's what I drank all night. But all right, next, Old Forester 1897, $50. Gold Eagle Jake, where do you want Old Forester 1897 at?
I'm a huge Old Forester fan. I love the 1920. I love the 1915. I love the 10-year bottle and bond that they recently put out last year. But this is just one that doesn't hit like the others do for me. And I think I'm going to put it right behind 1792 and checks the boxes. Still a solid bourbon. Great everyday pour. But just not anything that really jumps out too much to impress me.
It's fine with me too.
I was gonna say they're right ahead of Taylor.
Yeah, I don't think it deserves to be knocked down a category. I think it's okay there.
Okay. Yeah, if Taylor didn't have the price increase, I'd have Taylor ahead of it. But considering Taylor's $10 more, but I mean, you get the tube, so the rest of these have tube.
That's what the $10 is for.
I know. Packaging, man. Next one, new entry onto the list. Old Fitzgerald 7-year bottled in bond for $60.
It's sitting right behind me, but I haven't tried it yet.
Well, this is a perfect time. Pop it open right now.
So,
I mean, seriously.
yeah.
Why would you not?
Why would you not? Why would you make that
right?
statement? That's just a dumbass statement. Oh, I have it right here with a million other unopened bottles. But I'm just going to try and make a ruling on this without ever trying it.
You're missing the Old Granddad 7-year bottled in bond too, by the way.
This is going to be an everyday release. It's going to be like the Heaven Hill 7-year.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Open, try it. Let us know what you think.
Right.
I think this is a solid pour.
Until we get Jake back.
Especially if it's going to be on the shelf all day, every day, under $60. It's got good flavor. Is there any other weeded bourbons on this list? I don't think so.
Good old Mac products. I've never had it. I can't say too much about it. Based off of everything else I've had from Heaven Hill, or not Heaven Hill, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I just got to put it in to check the boxes because that's right in the middle, right? $50 or $60 seems a little high, but that wasn't a very approving. Don't judge on your first sip, though. You can't judge on your first sip.
And the nose isn't like super strong.
Okay.
But I'm getting a lot of like chalk on the palate and the finish.
So
I'd bump it up to. I put it between Heaven Hill Bib and New Riff.
you're gonna go that high with it for $60.
Yeah, it's tasty.
So it's $20 more than both of these that it's between.
Yeah, I mean for a premium bib, I think that's an okay spot for it.
Okay. Well, you're the only vote that counts right now because Jake got kicked out, and I never tried it. Next,
Like Jake was saying, this is going to be available every day.
right.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, never mind.
No, go ahead. Go ahead with your thought.
Yeah, I was going to say if they decrease the price at some point, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
I mean, the bottle looks cool for the price, at least. Like, it's one of the cooler looking bottles we have on here. If that means anything to people, it looks cool on a shelf.
Yeah, I mean, like all of the Old Fitz stuff except the the bare bottom shelf Old Fitz look have nice bottles. So
Yeah. Oh, is he back? Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
All right. So currently, where we're at is Jake. I just threw it at the middle or end to check the boxes to put it in the middle since I've never tried it. Jake tried it. He thinks it's between Heaven Hill and New Riff for the $60 price point. Even though it's $20 more than both of those, he thinks the flavor's high enough to put up there.
I agree. I like it there.
Okay. All right. I can't say one way or the other.
I've also been regularly impressed by Old Fitz's that I've had. I think a lot of avid listeners know that I'm not like a big weeded fan, but Old Fitz has like something to it that I really enjoy.
All right.
So a little bit of bonus points.
The next bottle I always get conflicted on. So the next bottle we're going to talk about, Henry McKenna 10-year. It's by far and away the oldest bib on here at 10 years old at $65. I've had this a couple like blind tastes I've done when I was at Whiskey Acres twice. I picked this as my favorite in the lineup. I think it's a good whiskey. I think in certain things it's on the higher tier. As I look at the bib rankings for $65 and what it's up against in this category, I'm going to say either the end of FDA approved or top of check the boxes. Right now, I am just going to put it on top of Old Granddad and check the boxes at my highest tier. You know what? I'm putting it at the end behind New Riff on FDA approved. I just think for $65, that's one of the most expensive bottles. It's the most expensive bottle we've covered so far. It is the oldest. Without having Old Fitz 7, I can't compare it to that. I would say for Heaven Hill, for $20 cheaper, I would go with the Heaven Hill. So, yeah, I feel comfortable putting it there for me.
I'd say it could be at the front of FDA approved when you get a really, really good barrel
Bingo.
number.
Bingo.
But they are not that consistent, so I think where it is probably okay.
It's one of two bottles on this list that's a single barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree. I think when you get a really good barrel, it can be really good. That's obvious because it won San Francisco overall 2 years in a row. But I do think the majority of the barrels that they release are just okay for being $70 and 100 proof bottle and bond. So I would put it right where it is. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great bourbon, but the price point's a little bit questionable. And yeah, it really depends on the bottle that you bought on how good it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a tough fight for this in this class because I think I talked probably better about it when we did 10 years, because a lot of 10 years are way more expensive, and I probably talked about this higher in a light versus other 10 years that were way more expensive. But when this is one of the most expensive ones in the list, I'm going to knock it down a little bit for that. So,
Yep.
all right, I'll do one more and then we'll get to the final two. Wilderness Trail is a $50 bottled and bond.
Oh, why are you jumping out of order?
I like it. I like it.
Not easy. I'm gonna jump the order just because the other two are way more expensive and way more hard to find. So
that's all right. I'm just kidding.
Wilderness Trail, $50. Oh man, I feel comfortable better than 1792 behind Early Times. Just because I think I'd rather take 2 Early Times over 1 bottle of Wilderness Trail.
I don't like Wilderness Trail, so I'd put it in Broken Tax Stamp.
Header behind Taylor. Where are you putting that in Broken Tax Stamp?
I'd put it maybe in front of Ben Holiday.
Ooh, way down. All right.
See, I'm a fan of Wilderness Trail when you get a good single barrel, but I think their everyday stuff for $50 for a 4 to 5 year bottle and bond bourbon isn't that great. It's good. I'm not going to be upset with it, but I think there's better things on this list. And I think for me, I'm putting it right where it is right now, or even below Ben Holiday.
Okay. Let's leave it there with my voting in, but I'm fine being knocked down quite a bit.
Okay.
All right. Second to last bottle. Every year is a little bit different because the age varies, but the Old Fitzgerald Decanter Bottle Series.
Colonel approved.
You're saying Colonel approved. For
how much is it?
$20.
How much is it getting bumped up by because of the beautiful decanter it comes in?
0.
A little bit. I mean, it's gorgeous.
I mean, a little, but
just a little.
I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a gorgeous bottle. One of the most beautiful bottles that's on the market.
Well, yeah. And for the price point, the bottle is actually kind of a steal for the quality of the glass. But I've had I think the 14-year, 15-year, 16-year, and 19-year.
I've had all those as well.
And they are all absolute bangers. So phenomenal. And 19-year whiskeys at 100 proof are really hard to come by, and they're really hard to come by really well done. So
but you also like Elijah 18-year.
Not anymore.
Well, Elijah 18 is what, 90 proof or something. So
well, this is pretty darn close. So
10 proof points is a big deal.
I agree.
So yeah, this is, I think, the best one out of the whole list, in my opinion.
Jake, you agree?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I would put it right where it is. Colonel approved. Every release is a little different, but they've been super solid. And again, weeded bourbon at this price point, typically you don't find something with this complexity and depth. I because of that too, I would bump it up a little bit and put it in Taylor Colonel approved. So,
all right. My thought on this, I think it's really good. I would say for $120, I would drop it down to the top of FDA approved.
Boo.
Yeah. Boo.
I mean, even for the 9-year, it's over $100, and you can get a 10-year.
All right. Yeah, so you're going to put Taylor and Colonel approved.
Yeah, I'm going
right?
to put Taylor. I'm going to put Taylor single barrel at $89 ahead of it. If you're going to talk about 10 proof points, I can easily talk about $30. So I'm going to put Taylor single barrel up top. Again, you got it. Bottles are going to vary by barrel to barrel. I think they do a very good job with their Taylor single barrel releases. I have paid $125 for a Taylor single barrel, and I was not upset about that. And that's after that secondary market. So I would put that at the top.
I'm going to veto your position.
I'm going to veto also. I'm going to put it below the Old Fitz because, again, it's a single barrel, and every single time you don't know what you're going to get. I've had ones that are very mediocre, and I've had plenty that are very great. But I think every Old Fitz I've tried has been great. So for that reason, I'm putting Old Fitz ahead of it. And putting Taylor second place, a strong second place. I think I would for sure prefer that over anything else on the list.
Yeah, being a little cheeky, the Taylor single barrels are typically very, very good. But yeah, I think I would prefer the Old Fitz if given the option.
All right. So if we go through the list, if you're listening, if you're watching, you can have a seat on the screen. If you're listening and you were wanting to know what we thought of Bottle and Bond, the only ones we have in our top tier are almost impossible to find and are very expensive.
They're not that.
Not for long. Not for long. Anymore. Yeah, the decanter is, but the Taylor and the Old Fitz, I bet you in 5 years they'll be a lot easier to find.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're someone like me, and you're on lists.
Yeah. All you got to do to get these at the retail price in Illinois is just go spend about $7,000 to $8,000 a year at a liquor store, and you can save about $40 on aftermarket prices of these things. So, great financial advice from Jake Reifenberg.
It's an investment, Dan. We have a whole episode on
for one, it doesn't cost that much. For two, yeah, you do good and support local business, then you get good in return.
So, top tier, Colonel approved. Taylor single barrel Old Fitzgerald Decanter Series yearly release. In our next tier, do we like this order of Jack Daniel's Bonded, Chattanooga Bottled and Bond, Heaven Hill 7-year, Old Fitz 7-year, New Riff McKenna 10?
Yes.
Anything you want to change there?
Nope.
No, I know people are going to be upset that the Old Fitz 7-year isn't higher, but I do think because it's weeded, it just lacks complexity compared to the three things above it and FDA approved.
Yeah, I mean, trying it just now, it's pretty solid. Mm-hmm. I wish I had the Heaven Hill bib open up here. Because
I mean, just totally different whiskeys.
Yeah. I mean, I had the Chattanooga, and I would prefer the Chattanooga over the Old Fitz 7-year.
All right. So, again, the second tier in order, Jack Daniel's Bonded, Chattanooga, Bottled and Bond, Heaven Hill 7-year, Old Fitz 7-year, New Riff, and then Henry McKenna 10-year single barrel.
I'm so happy Jack is that high.
I knew that was going to be pushed to the top, so... Yeah, I wish it was. I mean, that price has gone up since it first came out because didn't it come out at like $30 or $32?
I don't
quickly.
I don't think so.
No, I think it's been the same price.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next,
if I could make that my whiskey of the year every year, I would.
Next tier. I'm not going to even comment. Next tier, our middle tier. These are all going to be, except for the last one, these are actually really price friendly. Anything we want to change in here, it goes Old Grandad, JTS Brown, Early Times, 1792, and then Old Forester, 1897. I would still throw my vote in for Early Times over JTS Brown.
No, I actually would support that, but I like either way.
2-1. 2-1. Sorry, Jake. Fuck you. So, next tier, that tier again is now going to be Old Grandad, Early Times, JTS Brown, 1792, and Old Forester, 1897. And we didn't have anything fall in the very bottom tier of Turpentine, so our actual bottom tier with broken tax stamp is going to be E.H. Taylor Small Batch,
Well, it's not bottom tier
because it's lost a lot of these. It's fair.
Everything was worthy enough to not be in the
bottom.
bottom tier.
You guys didn't value the tube at all and didn't think it was worth $10 for the cardboard tube. It holds my kitchen utensils fantastically. I'm just going to throw that out there. I didn't spend a dime on it, so it's worth its $10.
No, you paid for it.
Benchmark, Evan Williams, White Label, Bottle and Bond, Wilderness Trail, Ben Holiday, and then Bullet Bourbon, Bottle and Bond, because of the availability and price, is our lowest ranked one. So if you're looking for our thoughts on Bottle and Bond bourbons, overall, we think they're great. We think the proof point is a good spot. Jake, you talked about it early in the episode. I've kind of got away from drinking barrel proof all the time to being more around that 110, 107 range is where I've been really happy at lately. So I have been buying more of the things in this range. But I think we have a pretty good conclusive list here. There's going to be ones we left off. We were just trying to do big ones that are usually fairly easy to find. The reason we added Old Fitz and Taylor at the end is because we thought we had to with how good they are as a comparison to some of the ones that are on here that you see all the time. So any final thoughts, comments, concerns on the list?
No, I just think
don't sleep on bottled and bond and 100 proof whiskeys.
Yeah, I think they're going to make a little comeback, and thank you for the user feedback on doing this episode. And I'm very happy with the tier list. I think, like you said, Dan, we're kind of coming back from that hazmat high proof phase, and people are realizing they need something that they can just sip on without having to think too much and not blow their palate out.
Yep.
Yeah, I had 3 pours tonight, and I'm like barely buzzed.
All right. Well, whenever I start doing research for episodes like this to find bottles and prices, the first thing I always do is go to Gold Eagle's website and see what they have and find the bottles and find the prices. Jake, if people want to listen to this and want to go online and see which of these you have and which of these they want to add to their cart, where can they do that at?
goldeaglewine.com. You can also download our app on the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and be sure to follow us on Instagram at Gold Eagle Wine, Facebook at Gold Eagle Spirits to see all of our daily deliveries that roll through.
All right. And Jake, if people want to listen to our 10-year-old tier list episode or watch it or any of our other episodes, where can they do that at?
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Watch us on Spotify and YouTube. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Bourbon Matters. Make sure you like, subscribe, rate, share, posts, all that fun stuff.
All right, guys. Well, this was a fun episode. The tier lists have been fun, I believe. Let's see what the feedback comes off of this, and we will see you guys next week. Again, Jake, congratulations on getting married.
Yeah, Thank you. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers guys.
Cheers.